morning, guys. Today is a big day because today is the first day of our trip out to Cape Lookout. My good friends Diego and Tyler will be coming with me on this trip. Tyler has actually had an opportunity to make it the 5-hour drive all the way from Virginia in order to join us. So all we have left to do now is pack a couple of things into the vehicle and we'll be ready to hit the road. Let's get out of here.
This was a trip that I've been thinking about for months, and finally, it was the last few moments before leaving. All that was left to do now was pack a few additional items like a collapsible fire pit and grill, additional power for on-the-go charging of batteries for cameras and lights, ensuring we had all our recovery gear ready to go, and those very much needed, almost forgotten food items. All that's left now is hitting the road.
I'm trying to turn on my GoPro. Your battery has been what? Going, you said? Yo. So you're jumper cable? You're dead? Damn, I should have grabbed that. I have like a power pack. I don't know if I have it with me right now.
Well, there you have it, boys. Within minutes of starting our trip, we hit our first bump. Diego had just ran into a battery issue, and it was something we were gonna have to take care of before we took off.
Obviously, as I'm sitting there fucking getting it, dude.
Yeah, heads up. There's definitely gonna be cursing in this video.
Can you try to start it? Oh!
Fucking nice.
You never know what's gonna happen. You freaking start a trip, things could go wrong. Sorry, I lost my keys earlier today. Yeah, you just gotta make sure this thing is charged. This thing's always coming. Always.
That worked pretty quick for a jump too.
Better than having honestly, I feel like it's so much more convenient than needing jumpers. Yeah, because if you're
self-sufficient, you know.
Yeah. And it's a battery pack too, so you can just charge up. We started a little bit later than expected, maybe about an hour later than expected. But we met up with Diego, and we stop at the gas station. And as soon as we get there, we get some beers, and we start to leave. And I noticed Diego's not behind me, and I'm like, dude, what happened? Where is he? And I get a call from him. His battery died in the Subaru. But luckily, I have like a little jumper pack that you can use to jump any vehicle, and we were able to quickly get him up and running. We're running late, so we might have to change things from the way we were originally planning on doing it, but the first stop was originally planning to stop at a brewery about an hour from here. And that might have to change depending on our time.
And it definitely did, because after getting on the road again, that battery would rear its ugly head again, and we would have to head to the nearest local AutoZone in order to get it fixed.
It's really capturing the story of this.
You gotta do it.
Then I checked the charge or the charging system, and it passed. Checked the voltage regulator, diode, and the current. Everything there is good.
Weird.
But it is running rough.
So we continued to put work into the Subaru, trying to get it up and running, but we were running tight on time. We were supposed to be at our ferry by 2:40, and at this point, we were already running more than a few minutes late.
So Diego had to stay behind we left him behind at the AutoZone. He's getting another battery. We're just gonna ride out on that and see what happens. Yeah, Tyler and I are heading out to the ferry now so that we can talk to them and maybe be like, hey, like, our buddy's on the way. Our car is here, so you can start arranging them whatever way you need to, so.
Well, at this point, we're definitely hoping they don't leave without us. So we continue down to Cape Lookout Cabins and Camps, and actually only make it a few minutes later than we expected to.
Oh, there it is. About 10 minutes late, 15 minutes late to Cape Lookout Ferry, but we'll see what they say. Hopefully they don't, not too upset about it.
As it turns out, the friendly staff at Cabins and Camps assured us that the ferry had not left without us, and even let us know that we still had time to pick up a few things we needed before heading out onto the island. We made it, guys. We're getting the Subaru and the FJ onto the ferry. And if you guys are wondering, it's actually not that expensive to get them over to the island. It'll actually cost you under $100 to get your vehicle there and back. Finally, we could relax, taking the sights and view from the ferry, meet new people, talk about past travels and future plans. And honestly, just be stoked about getting the cars on the beaches of Cape Lookout.
That would have been another fucking just perfect check.
I keep the key like right here under.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah.
After 30 minutes on the ferry, we arrive at the Cape Lookout beach landing. And we begin by disembarking our new friend's giant mobile campsite, shortly followed by our more modest setup.
Pull up there, pull up behind him. So, you saw how the... Yeah, we're gonna drive south. We're gonna drive
That
to
big
that open
point,
area.
that
to
big open area point.
yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna drive down that way.
All right.
And
I don't think it'd be too bad because this is probably like that main road what it is. So I don't think it's gonna be too soft.
Yeah, if it's like this
I
the
don't
whole
think
way,
it's gonna be too soft.
it
Maybe
shouldn't
on
be
the
too
beach it'll
bad.
be more,
Yeah, that's
but
not too
you
bad.
said
So
12 miles?
maybe about 12 miles. Yeah, he said. I think it's like 12 miles down there that way. And I'm like, okay,
We better
cool.
Get going. We're burning sunlight.
And Tyler wasn't wrong. We did need to get going because we still had at least another 7 miles to the night's campsite. But this was our first time actually rolling onto the beach, and the sight we were greeted with was not disappointing. Okay, it wasn't long after getting on sand that we would actually run into our first little challenge.
Getting close to the water. Yeah.
We had just made the mistake of turning uphill into soft sand and bring us to a complete stop.
You want him to stop over there.
Okay, so you
Get over there.
Why didn't we close?
Diego's Subaru, with its all-wheel drive capability, was actually doing pretty well, but when he found himself following us uphill with the little momentum and the Subaru's lower clearance, we had just about stretched its limits.
We made a little mistake, and we were trying to take the high side, and we dug in ourselves. But we were able to come out. The problem is now our buddy's stuck, so we're gonna try to use the max track real quick to get him out. I think it won't be too difficult. We're coming! Hey!
We're coming there to stay.
Just stay right there! We're coming!
Okay, we're definitely being a little dramatic there, but with the high tide coming in, we actually did have to get him out of there sooner than later.
There's no way I was getting past that.
Yeah, nah, I'm glad you didn't keep digging yourself in. But
Yes,
craziness.
I would have gotten stuck up there, but I came up and then I slid down into this.
Oh, you better get the fuck out of here before the high tide comes in. Fuck. Just the back, just the front. Because all you need is to be able to get this track in the front.
Oh, okay.
And then you'll be good. How you doing with that, Papa? Nice underwear, dude.
Thank you, Papa.
As soon as you can shove it in there, just drop it in there. You'll be alright.
Tyler was actually already familiar with traction treads, and he had seen what they could do on a previous
Yep,
trip
now
out in the
just
Mojave
slip it
Desert.
underneath it. You
For
want
Diego,
the
though,
back
this was
tire
actually
to
the first
catch
time he had
the
ever
track.
used them, and he was
know
about
what I
to
mean?
see just how easy work this recover gear could make this.
There you go. Yep, like that. Exactly. Cool. Now, I would suggest try to grab it and drive it this way into this clearer area. See how this works out. Go ahead.
We're not sure why, but when he was gassing it, and even though nothing was spinning, the Subaru was still not getting enough power to get over the treads.
I'm trying to get a little push on the back.
Yeah. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Nothing a little team effort couldn't fix, though.
Seems to work, huh?
Yeah. What was it? It just wasn't like.
Nothing was moving.
Yeah, nothing was moving. No tire. You weren't spinning any tires at all.
Yeah.
So we pack up the gear and take inventory of the situation in order to make our next move.
How much more do we got to the?
I don't know.
Probably a couple miles, dude.
Yeah.
We got to be a little more careful of like where we're driving. Hey, the sand. Be careful with the sand.
After we got going again, we continued for a few more miles until we found some good beachfront property to set up camp in. We find a good area and take the time to look around for a bit. And also take a look at the GPS real quick to find out how far away we are from the lighthouse we're trying to hit tomorrow.
This one's over here. They're under the fog lights.
While Diego takes a look over the Subaru to make sure everything's in good working order, we begin to unload and set up camp. You know, this morning didn't exactly go as we had planned, right? First, we started the trip off later than we would have liked. Then we ran into some battery issues. But by the end of the day, we were finally here. We've made it to a campsite for the night, and it's literally a little sandy spot right in front of the ocean. It's been a long but enjoyable day today, and we're ready to hunker down and get some food in our stomach. So I begin unloading the vehicle and all of the cooking gear. And as I hand the gear over to Diego and Tyler, they take on the responsibilities of prepping the kitchen for the night. And of course, for us tonight, there's a few good drinks in order. Couldn't think of a better way to end the night. Some great food over an open fire, good company, and tonight we were in for a treat because Tyler brought a great bottle of scotch to top off the night. But this night would not go quietly.